All right, sweet Pisces, let's take a look at this from the beginning. The Six of Wands. This is triumph over adversity. This is, it's a wonderful time to start any new projects. You have the star right here, so creative projects. It's time to start creative projects. So get back to your artistry, whatever that is, whether it's painting or writing or dancing. But it does look like it has something to do with your passion. So, now is a great time to plant those seeds. It feels very triumphant. It also feels like you've been working on something for a couple of years that it's been kind of at a standstill for a little bit. It may be a relationship space, it may be the job, but whatever it is, now is the time to move forward and put a little more energy into it. Have those difficult conversations if there is one lingering, but it does look like triumph over adversity. It can be even being recognized at work for your hard work that you've done, or a promotion. So that's a good thing that's happening right now. What crosses you is the Page of Wands. And this does feel like a twofold card. The first one, it does look like you've held back on making some decisions, whether it's in relationship space or moving or finding a new job, whatever it is. It looks like children have some, is a variable in why you haven't moved forward in a while. But it does feel like the time is ripe to do that, kids are resilient, and it does feel like whatever situation is happening now is kind of stagnant and needs to be moved. And, that's good for everybody, whether it's you or a child. This also can stand for messages. Wands are important messages concerning your current situation or work or a social situation. So it may be an invitation, it may be a raise, but it is some important message concerning this change that you have been focusing on. The Eight of Swords is here, and it does kind of look like a trapped card. That's what I'm feeling. Whatever the situation is that you need to change, you're feeling very trapped in it, whether it's a job, relationship, housing, but the situation has had you feeling trapped for a very long time. The star is here, so time to run those creative juices, move that kind of victim picture out of the way. You have the choice to move this energy. It does look like you have chosen to stay either in this job or relationship space, or the dynamic at home. You've chosen to stay there for a while, but it no longer works for you, no longer works for the family. And it's time to break out of it. So yes, it was a choice to continue this, and it does look like you are choosing now a different path. So what is in back of you is also another 8. So it does look like you're gaining some information, you're having more choices, you're opening up your world to other possibilities instead of just narrowing it to the one choice that is making you feel very, very trapped and unappreciated. So it does look like you're gaining knowledge, you're collecting information, you're reigniting some skills of the past. So you may be getting a different job or following your passion a little bit more. But it does look like you're collecting information on how to make these changes, getting yourself ready for this big shift that looks like it's coming up pretty soon. And it does look like it is of your choice. That some things have been out of your control for a really long time, but it does look like you're putting your foot down and making you a priority and no longer making choices to please others. So the star is here. That's creative. That's your creative essence. That's stuff that's coming down from the heavens. It's your God-given skills, if you will. It's the things that you brought into the body. So if you knew how to play piano at 3, that's what I'm talking about. If you have a great singing voice, if you're a wonderful writer, painter, artist, psychic, whatever it is, it's time to embrace that passion. You've been given this gift not only for yourself, but to help others. So it's time to embrace that creative essence and flow. Let it come out of you. It does look like you've put it on the back burner for quite a while for the have-tos. When our kids are young, we have to go to the 9-to-5 job. job, and we don't have time to paint our picture or write a book or whatever it is. So now it does look like you're creating that special, unique time for you to express yourself through your creative essence. The Fool is here, and this also is, it can be a twofold card. It can mean take a leap of faith. It is kind of right next to the World, so open your world a little bit, take a leap of faith into the unknown, start, getting yourself out there in the world. It does look like you've isolated a little bit. Share that knowledge. You have a lot of wonderful gifts and skills to share with others, but it means take a leap of faith. Don't be afraid to try something new. See, he's kind of jumping into wild abandon. The orange is lighting up for me as well. It does look like you have healed a lot of some emotional and mental stuff that was building up, and you have a wonderful outlet now, or you are speaking your truth and just really releasing it and embracing a new way of doing things. This also can mean do not make the same mistake twice. Do not visit the past if it's been the same. It doesn't matter if you go back over and over and over again. Some of the things that do not jive with you will continue to not jive with you. So if you are being tempted to go back to a position that you left at work, back to a relationship, or in the process of leaving a relationship, creating a new one, just don't go back in time. If you have a choice to the old or the new, take the new road, because the old one is what you are healing from, and you will no longer be in line with those lessons with either that person or that job. So take a leap of faith and try something new. It does feel like some energy in the past. You will have to revisit it to either clean it up or get a piece of the puzzle before moving forward, but it does feel, take that leap of faith. The Empress is here. She is the basis of all this, and she is a divine one. She is really incorporates all those lessons and her kindness, her higher self. So you may be getting more and more in touch with your higher self. That may be going back to church, going to temple, starting to chant, reading a self-help book, dancing may be your expression of, the God force or the spiritual energy. But it does look like you are incorporating the lessons of spirit into your everyday life. It's not just a concept now. It is with you and in your heart as your heart is opening more and more and more. But with this healing, you have discovered a new person. It's almost like a rebirth into your power. It is showing up as a female, but it is not necessary that you are in a female body for you to get in touch with the power and the creativity that spirit has gifted you from the very beginning. So it does look like you are getting in touch with those natural gifts, trusting the journey a little bit more and taking it to the higher level. So if someone is trying to get you to engage in an argument, it feels like you're just not in it anymore, and you just won't engage in that jive because it's lower level stuff. It's fear stuff. It's not love-based stuff. And it does feel like you have made a commitment to live your life through a love-based atmosphere, getting rid of some of the chaos in your life that really isn't yours to deal with anyway. The World is here, right here. So it does feel like the world is opening up to you. You have many, many choices. So put your energy into something. Be exalted. Minimize the stresses in your life if you haven't already. But the world is opening up to you. Once it looks like with the Eight of Swords, you had a very narrow view of what your future looked like. And once you made some of these changes or embraced some of those changes, the world opened up to you. So there is a lot more choices in your life now that you have broadened your scope. It wasn't anyone else but you choosing to minimize your scope. So it does feel like you have embraced opening up your awareness, opening up the other choices, and it does feel like the world is opened up. So you may be doing some traveling or saving for some traveling in the future. The King of Wands is here. That's a fiery sign. That's a motion sign. It can stand for being in integrity. It can stand for a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. It is not necessarily a man, but it is in the position of hopes and dreams. So it does feel like you may be having a very honest conversation with a fire sign, and really being in integrity while you're having that communication, not engaging. So there may be some really intense communication that you've been putting off for a while that really needs to be brought to the forefront. It does feel like it's a sit down, and that some things will be resolved as long as you keep it in the higher levels of respect and love. It does feel like some resolution is in the future. But if they go low, you go high, and just remember your goals in the matter and what you'd like to see come to fruition. So have that in your mind as you are having this very intense conversation. And it may be asking for a raise. It may be looking for a new job. It may be sitting down with your spouse, partner, family member and saying, this has got to stop. We've got to resolve this or let it go. So it does look like it's a conversation of great gravity, but it needs to happen. Does look like you've been waiting for the right time, but there really is no right time as long as you are not, speaking out of anger. It does look like resolution is in the forefront of this communication. Page of Swords is here. This is the culmination card. This does feel like it is information, or this is messages and news. This can be something that you've been worried about. The swords usually are the intellect, that is the thinking, that is the figuring things out. So it could be news of a problem or some kind of difficulties. Trouble could be happening to even a young person in your life that you need to pay attention to. They may be asking for some advice, but the sword is here pretty solidly. So it feels like communication, some brainstorming is in order, and that it's also on top of this card. So this may be a problematic communication. It does feel like changing something either in a relationship space or a job space. And it does require your immediate attention. So what is on the left side of this for clarity is the Seven of Pentacles. It's time to really take heed. And what do you want your future to look like? Really think about that. With all these changes that are in the air, it's happening. It's inevitable. So what do you want your future to look like? Just pick one thing. It does look like you're a little overloaded on the have-tos. And this could be, chores at the house, projects that you've wanted to do, or even setting up that easel, or setting up that art space. But there is a lot of things to do. It does look like on the physical level. And it also feels like you're cleaning some finances up too, slowly but surely. So that is on one side of it. On the other side is the Knight of Wands, and he kind of heralds change. The Knights are change and motion. And with this, the wand here, that's fire, that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It can stand for someone that is kind of spontaneous. It may be somebody you have to reel in a little bit to get some of this done. But for the most part, the Knights are about change and motion and doing things, not just thinking about it, but actually doing things. So whatever you've been talking about for a while needs to have a little fire lit, a little action. It can be signing agreements, breaking agreements, things like that. But some action is in order for you, Pisces. So that is your general reading for the month of September. I'm going to throw a couple of these chakra cards for clarity. Okay, wisdom, which is exactly what you're doing. You're collecting information. And soulmate. So this may be revising what a soulmate looks like, releasing one that you thought was and isn't. It can be you having a soulmate and you're not with them right now, and it may be reconnecting with that soulmate person. And it does feel like some energy from the past, but it does feel like positive energy. So once this is cleaned up, it does feel like it'll be much more clear about your soulmate, whether you are with them or whether you need to leave the person you're with to be with the person that's in your heart. But it's time to collect your wisdom, move that energy out, and get down to business, Pisces. No longer conceptual. It's time to put some motion behind those ideas.